You ever asked yourself, why do men cheat? Even on women who are loyal, loving, beautiful, and deeply invested. You give your all. Yet somehow, it still isn't enough. That question has haunted women for generations. And today, I want to go deeper than sex, deeper than beauty. Because the truth, it lives in the shadows of his mind. And it's darker than most are willing to admit. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Aster, and this is Astod Psyche, a channel where we dissect relationships through the lens of psychology, emotional intelligence, and real human behavior. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Because what you're about to hear could change everything. A few nights ago, I was watching an interview of two respected psychologists, Orion Taraban and Sadia. They were asked a simple but piercing question. What do men stay loyal to, beauty or sex? Sadia said sex. Orion said beauty. But something inside me said, no, this runs deeper. Because if it were just about sex or beauty, then why do men cheat on women who are stunning, sensual, loyal, and devoted? Deep down, you already know the answer. You've seen it happen. To the friend who gave everything. To the sister who held her home together. To the wife who was both lover and best friend. So if it's not about the beauty, and it's not about the performance, then what is it really about? Let's start by destroying the lies. No, men don't cheat because you let yourself go. No, it's not because you're not freaky enough in bed. No, it's not because you're not trying hard enough to cook, clean, support, sacrifice. Men will say these things, but they're not the real story. They're convenient covers, excuses they tell themselves and you to avoid facing the truth. Because the truth isn't physical, it's psychological. It's buried in trauma, identity, and the quiet insecurity no man ever wants to admit out loud. Now let's dive into the real reasons men cheat. Reason 1, the biological wiring plus dopamine addiction. Here's what most women never see coming. Many men are biologically wired to crave novelty, not because of lust, but because of dopamine, that rush of excitement that comes from something new. It's why some men say, I can't eat the same soup every day. It's why they chase the thrill, not the woman. It's not that they want to leave you. It's that their brain craves that spike of desire, again and again. And in a world of constant stimulation, this addiction to novelty becomes a silent killer in long-term relationships. Reason 2, the unconscious insecurity. Now here's the paradox. Many men don't cheat because they feel powerful. They cheat because they feel weak. They're insecure, deeply, but they'll never say it out loud. So they chase women, not for love, but for validation, to mask the pain, to feel wanted, to silence that inner voice that tells them they're not enough, not man enough, not successful enough, not respected enough. You, the woman who knows his flaws, become a mirror he can't face. But the new woman, she doesn't know his baggage yet. To her, he's still the man he wants to be, not the man he actually is. And that illusion, that's the addiction. Reason 3, lack of psychological respect. Now this one hurts, because it's the reason no one wants to talk about. Men don't stay where they're loved. Men stay where they're respected. For women, love is everything. But for men, respect is love. You can cook like a goddess and perform like a porn star in bed, but if he feels disrespected, he won't feel loved. Not truly. He'll feel like a king without a crown. And here's the twist. You may love him deeply, but if your tone, your words, your energy makes him feel small, he will begin to seek significance elsewhere. Reason 4, weak boundaries, not overwhelming temptation. A man without boundaries is not loyal. He's just waiting for opportunity. Some women fall for yes men. Men who always agree, who do whatever you say, who sacrifice everything to keep you happy. And it feels good at first, until you realize, if you can control him, so can any woman with a little charm. Weak boundaries are not love, they're danger, because that man isn't rooted in identity. He's floating, and eventually, someone else will catch him while he's drifting. Reason 5, the craving to feel like a man again. These cuts deep. Some men cheat because they feel invisible in their own homes. unseen, undervalued, emotionally neutered. They don't feel like providers. They feel like accessories. So they step out, not because she's better, but because she sees them the way they wish you still did. Desired, admired, needed. And for a fragile ego on the edge, that illusion of power can become an addiction. So, as I was saying, this doesn't justify cheating. Nothing ever justifies betrayal. But what I want you to understand here is how the patterns play out and what you can do to see them before they happen, or protect yourself from the pain of repeating them again. Let's keep going. The emotional disconnect few talk about. Here's a painful truth. A lot of men cheat not because they want more, but because they're getting less of what truly matters. Not sex, not beauty, not status, but emotional connection on his terms. Yes, men are wired differently. He may not even know how to articulate it. He may never sit you down and say, "Babe, I feel invisible with you." Or, "I don't feel emotionally safe when I open up." But that lack of emotional nourishment eats him from the inside out. And instead of confronting it, instead of doing the hard thing and communicating like a grown man, he runs, he escapes, he hides in another woman's arms. Not because she's better than you, but because she feels easier in the moment, less complicated, less emotionally charged, less triggering. It's cowardly, yes, but it's real. He father wound, the ego bruise, and childhood cravings. Now let's go even deeper. Many men are walking around with unhealed childhood wounds, a distant or absent father, a controlling or critical mother, a household where affection was earned, not freely given. You know what that does? It teaches a man that love must be chased, not received. So when you, his partner, love him freely and wholly, he panics, he sabotages, he runs. Why? Because deep down he doesn't feel worthy of love. So he cheats not out of joy, but shame, to confirm the belief he already holds about himself, that he's broken, that he's unworthy, that he's not enough for real love. Do you see how deep this goes? We're not talking about just lust here. We're talking about trauma, about emotional wounds wearing adult suits, about men who never grew past the boy that wasn't hugged enough, now trying to fix it in the body of another woman. Cheating is a coping mechanism. Here's something no one will tell you. Cheating is rarely a strategy. It's usually a coping mechanism. It's a way for emotionally immature men to regulate difficult emotions, like boredom, frustration, fear of intimacy, and shame. It's like using sugar when you're depressed, or alcohol when life feels too heavy. Except in this case, the drug is someone else's body, and the cost is your trust. Now here are the men you should watch out for most, especially the single ladies. Ladies, now let's talk about the types of men most likely to cheat. Because yes, there are patterns. And when you see these signs, run or raise your standards. 1. The validation junkie. He always needs attention. He loves flirting, even in public. Compliments from one woman aren't enough. He gets restless when he's not being admired. 2. The people pleaser. Sounds sweet, right? But beware. He says yes to everything, even when it hurts you. He doesn't have strong convictions or boundaries. He's easily swayed, especially by beautiful distractions. 3. The ego-driven alpha faker. Acts confident, brags a lot, needs to win constantly, often cheats just to prove he still has it. 4. The emotionally repressed guy. Doesn't talk about feelings, shuts down in conflict, avoids vulnerability, often seeks emotional intimacy outside rather than going deeper with you. 5. The unhealed trauma boy. He's been hurt, maybe by an ex, maybe by childhood, but he hasn't healed, and now you're paying for someone else's damage. Here are what you should look for instead, and here's the part most women miss. Don't just look for attraction. Look for emotional maturity. Look for the man who, 1. Can sit with discomfort. 2. Can have hard conversations without blaming or running. 3. Takes responsibility for his actions. 4. Values transparency over validation. 5. And isn't threatened by your strength. You want a man who is grounded, not just sexy, who is centered, not just charming, who is accountable, not just affectionate. The mindset shift you need to make today. Let me talk to you, man to woman. Your worth is not tied to his loyalty. His cheating is not a reflection of your failure. It's a reflection of his inner chaos. Yes, we grow. Yes, we learn. But your job is not to heal a broken man who refuses to hold himself accountable. Your job is to protect your peace, to raise your standards, to understand that respect, not just love, is what sustains a man's loyalty. Let me wrap this up by saying, men don't cheat because you aren't enough. They cheat because they aren't enough for what they say they want. They cheat because they are disconnected from themselves, from truth, and from accountability. But if you are listening to this now, know this. You are not here to beg for loyalty. You are here to be loved without condition and respected without request. And until you meet that kind of man, protect your heart like the sacred garden it is. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a sister, a friend, colleague, someone who needs this healing message today. Subscribe to Ask.Psyche for more truth like this. And in the comments, let me know. What is one insight from today's video that hit you the most? Until next time, stay wise, stay powerful, and never settle for less than your worth.